Hey,
Hi.
Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, this is Shannon Rose with the Rose Hollywood Report. Talk a little about this movie that you guys are in.
This is the adaptation of a much-loved best-selling novel, The Book Thief. I play Rosa, who is the archetypal evil stepmother, so we think. And it's told through the eyes of a young girl who is adopted. She goes to a foster family, and then the National Socialism is rising all around them, and it's about how this family navigate their way through that. And they take a Jewish refugee and hide him in their basement and put themselves in incredible danger by so doing. And it's a story of survival.
And I understand this is also from the book itself. And how is this different than the book?
It's very faithful to the book, actually. Obviously, the book is 500 pages. There's a lot more in it than in the film, but I think the film has been very faithful.
Absolutely.
How did you guys prepare for this role?
Really doing as much kind of immersion as possible in the time period and trying to read as much as I could and do as much research as we could about what was happening at that time and the rise of the Third Reich and just get exposed as much as I could to particularly the propaganda at the time and it was absolutely fascinating. And then obviously we shot in Germany, and so being and as Emily has said before, there's a real sense of history in Berlin, and there's a real sense of honest history there. And so it was very fascinating being having it so accessible all the time and being surrounded by it and being surrounded by people whose families were immediately involved in the time period, and yeah, it was a real fascinating, very, very meaningful experience. The doing research for it and prepping for it.
Now, what about as far as the set design? How true to form did they try to make it to that period of time?
I think it was pretty accurate. Yeah, very accurate. I mean, they built a street where we live, it's called Heaven Street, and it's where the family live, and it's their little community. Where these kids are growing up, and it was amazing. I mean, it was breathtakingly brilliant.
Yeah.
And then what was so terrible at the end is it gets bombed, and we walked onto the set one day, and it was destroyed, and it was heartbreaking.
And my last question for you guys is, what's coming up for you outside of this movie?
I'm about to start work on a film called Everest, which is about the ascent of Everest. And
what about you, sir?
I just wrapped up a movie here in London called Posh, which is based on a play written by Laura Wade, and just about to finish another film called Pride, which is about an alliance between a gay activist group and the National Union of Mine Workers in the 1980s here in the UK.
Well, this has been the Rose Hollywood Report. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.